The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This is starring Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson, Alex Pettyfer. Let's have a look. Isa Gonzalez and Kerry Ells was in it. There was quite a lot of people in this. Till Schweiger was the bad guy. Played the German bad guy. Oh, Rory Kinnear as Churchill. Hilarious. So this is basically what it says on the IMDb is the British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against German forces before enemy lines during World War II. So basically it's kind of pointing towards the birth of SAS and special forces that were first started during the Second World War. But let's be honest, this is more like a comic book version of that. There's probably no historical background to any of this, really. You know, very, very loosely. Things like Churchill and stuff like that. I mean, very loose. But I said to somebody after seeing it's kind of like a mix between Inglourious Bastards from Tarantino and The Dirty Dozen. It's, you know, if you mash those two up, it's kind of what you get here. I'm not a massive fan of Guy Ritchie's movies these days. I obviously loved him back in the Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch days. He has made some great films, but I find personally a lot of them recently I'm just not interested in. But funnily enough, the last two that I've seen of his, The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal, which I thoroughly enjoyed, thought it was a great film. And this one I thought, I'm not really sold on it. I'm not a massive fan of Cavill either. But bloody hell, I enjoyed this film. It was a great laugh. And, you know, as we've mentioned on the podcast before, you know, anything that blows up and shoots and burns and kills scores of Nazis has got to be worth a look at. And this did deliver in that sense. The action was fantastic. And the humour, there was a lot of humour in this. So I found myself laughing out loud quite a lot throughout it.
Yeah, it's a jolly good job set. Great explosion. It was all very much that. Yeah, it's vaguely, very, very loosely based on Operation Postmaster. This is the kind of birth of Commando, as you say, it goes on to like SAS and stuff like that. I agree. Guy Ritchie, like his early stuff, I love, and then it all goes a bit. Done a couple of good ones in more recent years, but you know, it's been very inconsistent. So I saw the trailer and thought, but I wasn't really going to bother much.
Neither was I.
You know, but it was only after you said, "Oh, I really enjoyed it." I was like, "Oh, I'll go check this out then."
Yeah.
And I just say it's completely silly and has no basis in like. I did think afterwards. One of the things is I'd love to see this operation done seriously as well in a film. Like if there was like a proper Christopher Nolan-esque kind of war, you know, it would be probably quite good. But even in this kind of context, I say I fought Dirty Dozen and stuff as well. It's very much like that, but with that kind of Guy Ritchie edge on it, where it's all the silly lines and the look of it and all that.
Up there on the left, sir. Yes.
Oh, he made a crash.
But it kind of works because all your characters, explosive violence, kind of funny kind of caricatures of these things. And when as you say, when you're going around killing Nazis on big ships and stuff, it's kind of like that's kind of what you want, you know, just like as a Saturday afternoon film to just chill out with and go, you know, it's like it's great for that, but it is nothing more than that.
No,
it's the thing to reassure.
As I say, it's very comic book, like you said, caricatures and stereotypes and stuff, and larger than life. Really doesn't really take place in a realistic world. Which, you know, we're just talking about Godzilla, and even though we're talking about, you know, a huge radioactive monster attacking Japan, but they based that in a very realistic world that it happens in. This not so much, you know. But, you know, like I say, I'm not a huge fan of Cavill, but he did make me laugh in this. His character was funny, and Alan Ritchson, who most people will know from playing Reacher, was excellent in it as well. Very funny. Very much that sort of type, you know, big, strong, muscly hero. Really good stuff.
Hazy, you're with me. We go left. Freddie, Lassen, you go right. Fill your boots, gentlemen, and bon appetit.
But yeah, my favourite character in it was Marjorie Stewart, played by Isa Gonzalez, who I thought was fantastic as that kind of, you know, femme fatale. She sort of gets sent to basically butter up the main bad guy, who is Til Schweiger, who was in Inglourious Bastards, and he was an actor that swore he would never wear a Nazi uniform as a German actor, and Tarantino persuaded him to do that for Inglourious Bastards because he said, you're going to get to kill a load of Nazis, you're like the ultimate Nazi killer. So he did it, and he obviously has softened a little bit on that since, because he's the sort of big German bad guy in this, the Herr Kommandant. He was very good in it, but I thought she was brilliant. And see, Carrie Ells in there playing that. He's very, he's American, but he's very good at that British upper class officer type. Quite, again, a sort of cartoonish actor in a lot of ways. He did Robin Hood Men in Tights and everything. And he's very good at sort of playing to that kind of level of fun, in a sense. As I say, Rory Kinnear as Churchill. That was a turn up for the Bucks.
Yeah, so, I love Rory Kinnear.
I do too.
Always great to see him turning up.
I didn't think he would be that good as Churchill, but he was pretty funny in this as well.
Just a good job, yeah.
Yeah. But a great cast. You also had Babs Alusanmokan. Is that how you say it? Alusanmokan? He was great, though. He was kind of like the intelligence guy, the sort of undercover kind of, man in place sort of thing to help the Allies infiltrate this island and stuff. He was the sort of the man on the ground.
Yeah, and I think as you were saying about Alan Ritchson, and I've never seen Reacher.
I've only seen clips, really.
Yeah, so like I'm not that aware of him, but I was really impressed at him. Like, I mean, the size of the guy.
He's huge, isn't he?
So far, so good. Doing rather well, Hazy.
Yeah.
So I can see him taking up some roles.
I think he's one of those, like we talked about Batista. He's a huge, muscly guy, but he's got some acting chops. He's actually quite talented. But him running about with a bow and arrow and just Rambo style, taking
Great
out scores of Nazis. It was worth tuning in just for that.
Yeah, I mean that last sequence, the kind of the third act where it all takes place, of course. It is remarkable to watch. You're like, this is impressive, actually. For a very silly slapstick film, it's like, this is action-packed, violent, well shot, and Richie doesn't know how to frame a picture.
Yeah,
it's really good to watch.
Yeah,
and it is just that point of don't take it seriously. It's just a fun caper, but for that kind of film, great fun.
Yeah.
We even see kind of Ian Fleming is portrayed on screen in there, and the guy who runs it, he's who James Bond was based on. So it's it's all great fun.
Definitely some nods of the cap there. Some great characters, real fun, like we said. Again, I'd say if you love action, if you love World War II movies, obviously going to be of a certain age if you do, but if you do, this one definitely is a thumbs up. Thanks very much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. The best way to support our channel is by giving us a like and subscribing. Other ways to support us include buymeacoffee.com or become a patron over on patreon.com. This video is also sponsored by funkytshirts.co.uk, so check out their website for a whole range of cool and funky t-shirt designs. All the links are in the description.